Here you go. Fresh batch of Carnivore Chips.
Hey, what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are Two Crazy Ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like product reviews and we do recipe videos. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we produce a big plate of meaty goodness, you'll be alerted to it.
So...
where's yours?
I mean, where's mine? Right there.
This is mine.
So, we love products like Carnivore Chips.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. They're delicious. I like it so much better than beef jerky, and I like beef jerky.
Yeah.
The deal is, they're expensive.
Yes, they are.
They're very expensive,
Mm-hmm.
like $40 for 5 ounces. And I understand why they're expensive because, first of all, they're using top quality meat.
Yes.
Right, you know, regeneratively farmed beef. It takes a lot of time. It takes energy. It takes electricity to make it all. A pound of beef generally is only going to give you 4 or 5 ounces of meat. So add all that in. I understand why it's expensive. But I can't eat it as much as I want to.
Right.
Because it's expensive.
So we're going to have to figure out how to make some of these carnivore chips ourselves.
So here's the deal. We're going to show you how to make carnivore chips at home. The good news is you can do this with an oven.
I like that.
The bad news is you're not going to be able to do a lot in your oven. Like, you're going to want to have a smoker or some kind of multiple rack thing. You can do it on a dehydrator. It's just going to take longer because dehydrators tend to not go over 165 degrees. And we're going to cook them at a slightly higher temperature. But it can be done. You just have to cook it a lot longer. You may even want to finish them off in an oven. Okay, so you ready?
Yes.
We don't need a lot of ingredients here. You know what we need?
Okay.
We need some beef.
Yes, we do.
Or lamb or pork, whatever you want. We're going to use beef. And we need some Redmond rail salt.
I really like that ingredients list.
Yeah.
Feel like that fits for everybody.
Now, you don't have to use Redmond, obviously. We do. We use Redmond for
Why wouldn't you use
everything.
Redmond?
It comes from the United States. The salt is like untouched by the atmosphere for, you know, like millions of years. It's below ground. It's great. No pollution's getting to it. And we love the company. So we highly recommend Redmond Real Salt. We even have a discount link down below. It'll get you 15% off when you use the code 2crazyketos. Okay. You can use any cut of beef for this.
All right.
And by the way, this is super easy to do.
How easy is it?
This is really so easy that even Rachel could make it.
I am so excited about this because, again, this is basically my favorite snack of the year. Let's be honest. Like,
and we're eating it as a meal.
We are eating it like all of the time, but I could eat me a bag in an hour and I ain't making no $40 an hour. So...
right?
I need to figure out.
And here's the problem is we open up a bag of those chips.
Don't.
And like I get one piece and Rachel finishes the bag.
It is true.
She saw me sneaking out for a lacrosse tournament with a bag of them and she's like,
where are you going?
What are you doing? I'm like, I'm on the field all day. She's like, I don't care.
I'm gonna need to get my cut of that bag.
Which
first.
is like 80% of it.
It is.
Okay, so you can use any cut of meat. So you can use ribeye, you can use brisket, you can use top sirloin, whatever you want. We're going to go super cheap, and we're going to use the poor man's brisket.
All right.
Which is a chuck roast. You know why?
Because it got a lot of marbling?
Well, because this chuck roast is $4.99 a pound.
Wow. But it does have a lot of like fat in it.
Yes, and I like it. You know, if you want no fat, make beef jerky.
Yeah.
If you want the fatty deliciousness, you'll want to make it like this.
Yeah.
And we're going to just figure this out. I don't even know what this weighs. So let's figure it out. We don't even need to make this entire thing in one sitting.
We might.
We're going to go ahead and figure out, to give you an idea, This thing is 5 pounds, 10 ounces. Okay.
That's a respectable
So
roast.
I think I paid like $28 for this thing.
For the entire thing.
That is a lot less
Than by
than
the
a
ounce.
bag of 5 ounce. And it's going to give me a lot more than 5
Right.
ounces. Now, here's the deal. You're going to need to slice this. You're going to need to slice it super thin. But the good news is that a lot of butchers will slice it for you.
Yeah.
Or a lot of Asian markets sell meat for something called shabu shabu.
Shabu shabu.
Which is very, very thin sliced meat. So you can also buy that. You're generally going to save money, though, if you have a food slicer and slice it up yourself. So that's what we're going to do right now. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a food slicer here. And before anybody starts typing down in the comments, that's an expensive food slicer.
We got it on OfferUp.
Yeah, this is from Bestwood. You don't have to have this one. You can really even do this with a home one that's like $60. But I just like big, powerful things. I want to be able to do it quickly. We
like
do
his wife.
a lot of stuff, like making our own bacon, and I want to slice through it quickly. Also, to get really thin meat, it's better if you can partially freeze it. You don't want to freeze it to a block, but this has been in the freezer for about an hour or so, and that just helps like stiffen up the fat, and it allows it to slice a little bit thinner. This machine, we are not affiliated at all, okay? It's like $330 on Amazon, and I was going to pay it.
Yeah.
Because my feeling was this. We were paying $40 a bag for like the Carnivore Crisps.
Yeah,
right?
we were.
So
all the time.
that can quickly cover the cost of buying the machine.
Yeah.
But I did find it on OfferUp, and I paid $80 for it.
I like that price even better.
This is a 250 watt machine. It is big and it is a little bit heavy. But yeah, I paid $80 for it. And the cool thing is this thing even has like a sharpener for the blade built in. So you just press these little things and it sharpens the blades for you.
That's really nice.
It's not commercial, but can be used for commercial, which is what the lady that I actually bought it from was using it for.
They
But
had like
you can
a restaurant.
find this a lot of times on OfferUp, so you don't need to buy a brand new one. I was going to buy a brand new one though. Okay, so we're gonna put this on the lowest setting.
Okay.
We're gonna slice 1 or 2 pieces and then see how it is. You want it fairly thin. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we're gonna turn it on. Go ahead and give it a slice. So we're just gonna push it forward and don't slice my hand.
Please don't.
Okay, keep going. Okay, so this is a pretty good thickness.
That is nice.
I actually think I want to go even a little bit thinner than that. Yeah, I think that's going to be good.
Ooh, that is nice.
Now, one thing what we want to do, especially if you're using chuck roast.
Okay.
This fat, as the meat starts like warming up, you're going to see it's going to come apart. So what I like to do is as we're slicing it, we grab these papers, these wax papers that you put for burgers. So I have a whole bunch of them here. And you could either do this right onto the rack, but I'm just gonna slice a whole bunch of this up and then we're gonna go ahead and freeze whatever we don't use.
Right.
So what we wanna do is literally just put it on a paper and then just keep separating it. And that's gonna make it easier to move on.
Now, is this the same thing as like shaved beef? Like if you wanted to make like Philly cheesesteak type of
At this thickness,
beef?
yes.
That's nice to know. So you can make your own steak-um if you want.
Now, as I get down here to the end, this has started to defrost a little bit. It becomes a little bit harder to work with. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just stick it back in the freezer for a little while.
So are these papers that we're using, this parchment paper, is it necessary and is it expensive?
It is not necessary. You don't have to do this. It depends on how much you're doing. I mean, we just sliced up 5.5 pounds of beef. So as we're doing this, it is like defrosting. So because we're going so thin, it's like a little bit more difficult to work with. So it'll be easier to transfer stuff backwards, onto the pans. And also, we're not going to cook all this at once. So now when I want to go ahead and make more up later. They're already sliced and you just do all of the papers.
Right.
It's also good for, at this point, like you said, shaved beef. So if you want stuff like that.
If you're looking for a quick, easy, cook it up in like moments, this type of, thinly sliced beef is awesome.
Now, as far as expense, it depends on what you consider expensive. So I bought this box here and it was $1,000. Not like there's 1,000 sheets in here, not $1,000. And it was like $13 for the box.
Okay.
So for me, that $13
it's convenience.
Is like well worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have all of the meat sliced up. Obviously, we can't make 5 pounds at once.
What's this thing?
Okay, so this is the leftover where you got down to the very end.
It's like strings.
And, there was no way to really slice it. So I have a bag in the freezer that I call scrap beef.
Right.
So as I slice stuff up, whatever's left, it goes in there. If I trim up a brisket, it goes in there. And then I use that to make ground beef.
Nice.
So, or if I'm making sausage. So whenever you have scraps, I just run all of that through my grinder.
Nothing goes to waste.
And again, I know this is more than most people are going to want to do. But a lot of people have been asking us, like, what are you doing? So this is what we're doing. This is how we're saving money. In the long run, it's just nice to, like, I don't have to throw any stuff out. A lot of people just throw out the scrap, beef fat off their brisket and all that stuff.
Well, and prices may fluctuate. And so we're able to like live through price fluctuation by doing these kinds of things.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the freezer. The reason I put it in the freezer is I'm going to come back and I'm going to vacuum seal it. When you freeze it before you vacuum seal it, it makes it so it's easy to separate these pieces.
Yeah.
If I vacuum seal it first, because of the moisture, it gets them all stuck together. And now, in order to separate them,
you got to break them.
I've got to let it defrost.
Right.
And I'd rather deal with frozen meat. So I will vacuum seal that package. You put that in the freezer. Okay. We've got our racks from our electric smoker.
Nice rack. Sorry.
So you have the racks like this. You don't want to put the meat right on here because it's going to fall right through. So I have these jerky like sheets. Bought them on Amazon. I'll leave a link for them down below. And now what you want to do is just take your beef.
Turn it right over.
And just lay it down. And again, this is why I like the papers. Because when we were putting it on, it was frozen. Now it's not. So it's going to be a lot more difficult to work with. And you do want to try to make it thin. So if the piece got bunched up on your paper, make sure you're going ahead and like stretching it out. Like this piece is all like bunched up. Definitely want to have it as thin as possible on your sheet.
Talk about something that's perfect for triple B and E. This. Like this rocks.
So I don't remember how much this pile weighed. I want to say this pile weighed like 30 ounces, right? So we should end up with somewhere around 15 ounces. Okay, now we're going to do one more thing. Your salt.
Salt.
Okay, so I found the best way to do this, stack them all on top of each other like this. Go ahead and put a decent amount of salt. You're going to lose some salt in the cooking process.
Yeah.
I only salt one side because you can always add more later. So get a decent amount of salt on it and then move to the next rack. And then the lower racks catch whatever is falling through.
Now, am I doing this right?
Okay, I'm going to show you an easier way to do this. What you want to do is hold it at an angle.
Okay.
And kind of like throw the salt.
Oh, nice. Like you're planting seeds.
Yeah. So see how we're just throwing, instead of like upside down, now you're getting a really good
spray
around it. So we'll again put this one to the bottom. You don't have to do it this way, but it also makes it a little bit easier with cleanup. I'm not getting salt all over the counter. I'm also not wasting salt. So we've got 5 racks of meat crisps.
I love it. What
we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put these in our smoker. We're using an electric smoker. You can put a smoke flavor in there if you want. We like it both with or without. This batch actually had a little bit of a smoke in it. So I put just a few wood chips. I had smoked for about 45 minutes and then I took out the wood chips. It also works great without it. If you're doing it in the oven, obviously there's no way to add smoke. I mean, you could, but you don't want to have a fire in your house.
No.
You can also do this on a pellet grill. What we're going to do is we're going to go to 180 degrees for about 4 hours.
Now, and that's oven or smoker.
Oven or smoker. Now, again, it really is going to come down to like how accurate is your smoker, how accurate is your oven. We are using a smoker that has an electronic controller on top, so it's within like 1 degree of accuracy.
Super accurate.
A lot of other smokers, like our pellet smoker, it could be off by 10 or 15 degrees sometimes, when it has a flare up. Your oven can be off by 10 or 15 degrees. That's why we always cook to
temperature, not time.
Temperature, not time, because I can't tell you how long it's going to take in your oven at your altitude and how thick did you slice it. So what we're going to do, roughly 4 hours. Every about hour, we're going to go out and I'm going to flip them.
Okay.
And rotate them. When I flip them, I dab off some of the fat with a paper towel.
All right.
And that part, you want to do it at least twice during the 4 hours. Now, when we pull them out, and we'll show you as it goes along, when we pull them out, they're not going to be crispy. Okay? You're going to see a lot of grease on the top. We're going to dab it one more time with a paper towel. And then as they cool down, they end up like this.
Getting crispy.
Like crispy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
And these have been sitting on the counter for a few hours, and we're in Florida, so they immediately like start picking up humidity and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in a smoker. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and check these. Okay. Pull this rack out. Oh yeah, these look good. Oh yeah. So what I'm gonna do is just flip them over, and I'm just gonna dab some of that fat off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this rack out, and I'm going to shift racks. Okay.
I'm so ready for this.
Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're just going to pull all the pieces off so we can get the racks out of here. Now, I actually had to go to the dentist, so I only flipped them one time at right around the 3 hour mark. But we really cut these at the perfect thickness because they really are absolutely perfect right now without having to do a bunch of flipping on them. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just kind of like lay a bunch of these out, and then we're going to blot them dry. So what I do is I basically put it like one layer, and then put the paper towel over it and blot it.
Yeah, that's good.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to take those there and transfer them and keep going until we've gone through all of them. You don't have to blot these dry, but some of them may have a little bit more oil. It really is going to depend on what cut of beef you use. So the fattier the cut, the more you may have oil on them. Okay, so we ended up with about 14 ounces of dried meat.
I'm pretty impressed with that.
And we started off, this was the 20 ounce piles.
Yeah.
So, or like 21 ounce piles. So overall, if you were to buy this, it would cost you approximately $100 to $120. And this actually costs us like $11 in meat.
I like that math.
Even if it costs us $10 to run the smoker for 4 hours, which it didn't. But
No.
even at that,
It's worth
that's
it.
a significant savings.
Yes.
Like that would basically be $100 savings.
And on top of that, they're here now.
Yeah.
Right now. Like if I want, and we can seal them, which we do.
Yeah, we're just going to let these cool down a little bit. And then what I do is I seal them in a vacuum seal bag because now they're going to be shelf stable. And then I put these oxygen absorbers in, which I get these on Amazon. The only thing about these is you need to keep them sealed. That's why you want to buy them like where they're individually wrapped or like in a pack of just like 5 or 10, because as soon as they get exposed to oxygen, they start like losing their potency.
Right.
So I buy like a pack of 100 of them and they come in packs of 5.
Well, should we quality control these ones?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm picking this one right here because you see the fat on that, right?
Ready?
Dink.
Think.
So good. So good. That fat, just right.
This was the perfect thickness.
Mm-hmm.
2 millimeters.
Yep.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah, I could eat this entire thing.
Falls apart in your mouth.
And you know what? It's fine. I can eat the entire thing.
You can eat this whole thing for dinner if you want.
Yeah.
Because
it's beef.
You're basically talking about, if you ate this whole thing, you're talking about 20 ounces of beef.
Hello.
That'd be a great meal for the day.
That would be a fantastic meal.
Well, that's going to be our video for today. Let us know down in the comments section when you make these. Also, let us know, what cuts are you going to make? We actually just bought an entire lamb.
Yes.
And we're going to actually make some lamb ones like this. I'm excited for the lamb one.
Me too.
Also, we're going to work on a chicken version. But as far as beef, I've tried a bunch of different ones. And honestly, my favorite is the chuck roast. And it just so happens chuck roast is super cheap.
I like it.
So let us know down in the comment section, what cut of meat are you going to use? And if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at some of the videos we have linked right over here. Also, make sure you take a look at our most recent videos. I'm going to put right over there.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time we make something delicious, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time.
Bye.